Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude, a podcast about California dreams. This is Pete from New York City. How you doing, James?
I'm doing great. I am also James from New York City.
Yeah, good.
This like the 4-year-old's intro to a podcast is what I just did.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of old episodes that we've been doing, and I'm like, I now know that I have a cadence when I kind of come in here, and it's feeling good. It's a very familiar thing because those early episodes I was not quite confident in like how I should introduce this show because I'm like, who the fuck is actually listening to this? And if you're listening, why are you coming back? There's definitely some episodes where I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this is another musician there, might want to see what it's like to goof on a band from 30 years ago or whatever. But then there's episodes like today that we're going to talk about where I'm like, you're either a diehard fan of this show or you're a complete masochist. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Courtney watched some of it with me and was cringing even harder than me. So,
oh, no. Well, I mean, maybe in her altered pregnant state, you would think that she would understand what it's like when your body revolts against you. And, maybe she's also patient zero, like we're going to see in this episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange territory they unintentionally get into in this episode, as well as a possible copyright infringement from the Mucinex man. But technically in the timeline, wouldn't this have come first? I don't know.
I think this would have come first. That's a really good. That's a very astute observation. I would say that this episode is. I don't mean to bag on anybody in this show, but this episode would be like it's a nothing episode in the fact that if this never existed, it doesn't matter. And I think that would kind of showcase 80% of the episodes that up until now that we've seen. Only 20% of these episodes would really matter in a linear episodic timeline. Would you agree?
Yeah, a contextual, like a coherent contextual timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could put this episode anywhere and nowhere.
No one would care. Yep, that's
right.
The
world would keep on turning.
However, we did get music. We got actual, legitimate sounds of music in this episode, which is more than we can say for the last few.
Yes, we did. We did get some music. And it was, I guess, kind of a plot point that they were musicians. But I wouldn't even call it the B plot. Like, this is LMNOP kind of plot as far as importance and how much time is dedicated to it in the episode.
With the music?
Yes.
Yeah. This episode really feels like a C or a D plot got moved up to an A plot.
This is also a rehash, and again, we're going to talk more in depth, but this is a rehash of a Saved by the Bell episode.
Wow.
Screech's Secret Spaghetti Sauce, which is kind of the same thing. There's a few extra turns in this one, but it's still basically the same thing, that they start a business and things go awry, and it's just silly. And I understand it's for children and not for us. Like, specifically, this show is not for us anymore. It's not, and I get it.
It never was for me. Just letting you know, it never was. I never saw or heard about this show.
Well, you're a true one. You're one of my best friends, and I really appreciate you coming back. I really appreciate everybody that is one of our listeners that's coming back, because we're over the hill, we're over the mountain. We are over halfway through season 3. We're almost done season 3. And
thank God.
We've got some fun stuff planned for the end of the season. Thank you for listening to Surf Dudes with Attitude. You can contact us at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I mean, we threatened this episode the last time we spoke, James, and it's because of an interview Kelly Packard did where she was asked to one of her favorite, funniest memories of filming California Dreams. And she specifically brought up this episode. And when I heard that story, I was like, I am lodging this away in a file cabinet of stuff I'm not looking forward to. But it's upon us where Sly will be dressed as a big germ.
Cool. So wait, Kelly had a good time with this. Is a good memory.
She said this was one of the funniest episodes like behind the scenes of when they were filming. She said they could not stop laughing and breaking character and messing up takes because they were all knee slapping it up really hard for this one specific scene that I think we all know is coming.
Well, it's funny that you say that. We'll talk about it when we get there. But that's really funny that you say that because I have some thoughts about that specifically, that scene.
Well, George is not with us this week, but he is traveling and he will be back with us next week. I mean, without further ado, would you like to start this episode?
Wow. So here we are, folks. California Dreams, Season 3, Episode 15, Junior Achievements.
Which, again, you did not know what this was about based on the title. And I still don't know what this is about.
The title means nothing to this episode. I feel like this was like maybe the D plot to the actual Junior Achievements episode. Something happened.
What plot do you think that they annexed and they bumped this up?
I'm going to guess.
Possibly happened.
I'm going to guess it was another plot that took us away from them playing music.
For sure. That's a given. But I think it's more of a plot that would center around them becoming juniors. And I think they're breaking a cardinal rule in that case by explicitly stating how old these kids are. Because you start putting a time on it, there's a finite amount of time left before they graduate. Okay, and we're almost done with season 3, and we have 2 seasons to go. And they might not have known they had 2 seasons, but calling them juniors means that you have 6 months per season for the next one because all these shows end when kids fucking leave high school, right?
Except for Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Saved by the Bell. It's a show about Congress and kids. But yeah, that's true. They did go to college, but the interesting about Saved by the Bell is that they filmed the graduation episode and then they ordered more episodes, and that's why they have those Tori years, because they did
no way.
They did 8 episodes with Tori and then they just spliced them in, and the idea is that is running concurrently with the other one even though it's filmed a year later, and they look older, they have different hairstyles, but between week to week Kelly and Jesse are just not there. Now when it first ran, they cut this. You didn't want to know all this. I don't care.
But I
in the
really
first ran, they had some throwaway line that Jesse was in a biodome somewhere and Kelly was like off at semester at sea. Through all subsequent showings, they have cut that part out to make it even more ambiguous. I would love some throwaway lines in California Dreams to tell us what the fuck is going on, how long these kids are at school, what achievement did they achieve in junior year. We do not know from this episode, and that's unfortunate.
Yes, but not shocking. Not shocking, especially from this season. So I don't know if you have the IMDb or any of the details of this episode. When did this air, Pete?
James, I'm really glad you asked, because this is the Christmas Eve episode of 1994.
Well, how festive.
This is a Christmas episode. What? This episode is gold, frankincense, and myrrh all bunched in together for us.
It's almost like they're not even trying. They're asleep at the wheel.
Well, I mean, they kind of had a Halloween episode where people dressed up, a couple episodes back. But I think that was just more of a coincidence.
That. Was it?
No.
Was it? And the fact that this was the Christmas Eve episode, now that's what went wrong. That's what the A plot was. It was a Christmas plot.
This wasn't about family. It was about honor.
Something happened, and now it's turned into something that should never have been even a D plot, and now it's on full display. I don't know. This one was really bad. Courtney compared it to iCarly for camp.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think might be like the closest, now that she said that might be the closest modern iteration of a show like this that could be comparable.
Okay. You are a little younger than I am. So I know iCarly as an entity. I've never actually seen the show.
I didn't watch it either, but as a kid, I didn't really watch the Disney Channel at all.
It is a Disney Channel show. That tracks.
So she watched that, and but I've seen enough clips of the show to like get the hit. It was the 2000s iteration of Saved by the Bell,
Mhm.
and constantly gets shit on because of how just campy and goofy all those Disney kids were. But that one was like exceptionally and also very popular. But she was like the acting's worse than iCarly. I would prefer to watch iCarly to this.
Well, maybe that's the next show we should do, James.
Yeah, is it? Is it though?
No, please no. Unless they have a band to talk about, but we digress.
Do we have any special guest appearances in this one, or is this one
Yes, we do. I just found out from one of the YouTube comments that we're definitely going to get there. So remind me about one of the surfers that come in later. He's a
copy that?
returning guest that's a huge star in the California Dreams world. We're going to start off though in the classroom, and this is going to be a school heavy episode. Sorry, kids. You can tell it's cold and flu season because everybody be sneezing, everybody be coughing, everybody is sick in this classroom, which means we have fake sneezes throughout the entire episode. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with shows is how bad people fake sneeze.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really bad. And of course, this is pre-COVID, so no one's wearing a mask. It's just a recipe for disaster. That's how we used to just pass sicknesses around in the
You
day.
did.
We
We
just
just had
cough on each other.
chicken
Yeah,
pox parties and that was it. You
exactly.
just had
Yeah,
herd immunity for every.
yeah. Go to school and catch that virus now so you can build up the antibodies.
So
But anyways, we're looking at a teacher who I've never seen before.
you were thinking that the teacher was maybe somebody important. I did see on one of the YouTube comments that he was also in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well then.
His name is James Gleason. His name is Mr. Parrot, which you would think that they would make him say everything twice. That's what I just assumed would be the silly thing. But I don't see anything in there that looks all that
No,
memorable.
Parrot was just coincidental.
He's a General Hospital man, Revenge of the Nerds 4. That's all your favorite one that you're
Yikes.
always talking about,
Yikes.
Nerds in
Yeah,
Love.
yeah.
It's a TV movie. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was too good to put on film. It needed to be in everyone's homes.
We were told right away that this is an economics class. Sly's really into this class because he says it can make him money. The only thing he cares about are babes and mucho dinero.
Yeah, mucho dinero.
The teacher comes up with this cockamamie scheme for a class project that you're going to have to start a business. I don't know how many groups are going to be in this classroom. Our entire gang is in the classroom, of course. But he's going to give $500 seed money to every single group in there, seemingly out of pocket. And then they're going to have to pay back the loan or they get sent to summer school. That is upsettingly and unfortunately the plot that we're going to have to talk about today. So bear with us.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, anyways, they're in the classroom. Everyone's coughing, hacking, wheezing. They get this assignment, and the gang gets right to scheming. So, right after that class is done, which was their first class, they go back to Lorena's house because
loft.
rules don't apply.
We don't know who lives here actually still.
Well, nobody lives in here. This is their spare house, and this is where the band rehearses.
Well, it's called a loft. So yeah, this is attached to Lorena's property. Am I right?
Yeah. With the huge moat, but she lives there, but doesn't live in the loft or in that wing of the house.
Okay, but you're missing something, and I don't want to jump ahead, but we do see Sam's room multiple times in this show, in this episode. This is the first time we've seen Sam's room since they have moved to the loft. Now, they did have a throwaway line that said Sam moved in with Lorena, but the room they are using is literally Matt's room. 100%, it's Matt's room, okay? Which means...
Oh, I believe you. Yeah, I believe that.
That the house attached to the loft that has the moat around it has the same exact interior layout as the Garrison household. Does that mean that they are on the same block, like a ranch house situation? They're in some kind of HOA with the old Garrison house. Do you think
could be where every house
Sly
is
lives
exactly
there
the same?
as well.
It could also be the same contractor. You don't know. You don't know what their lives were then.
Her dad is a builder. He is a construction dude, is he
Then
not?
there you go. Problem solved. We've just explained more of the show than the show will ever explain to you. So you're welcome. But they're all at the loft. They're scheming on what to do.
Yeah.
Tony has the most comical fake sneezing and coughing situation. And Sam says, drink this. and hands him a cup, and it's her grandmother's herbal medicinal remedy for, I guess, the common cold or the coughs and the sneezes.
I've been told there's no cure for the common cold, but I might have been mistaken after watching this episode.
Yeah, I don't think this is actually a cure. I don't think it's real.
This is just a remedy to suppress some of the things that happen to you while you are ailing, right?
I guess I don't.
James, aren't you a doctor? I'm asking you pretty straightforward questions here.
What? Well, do you want my professional advice? You might want to get a second opinion, just saying, about after what I'm going to say here. I knew from the moment that Sam said, "This is my grandmother's recipe," there was going to be some kind of exploitation of her heritage. I just knew it. I sensed it. Like, I felt like, oh, here we go. Ancient Chinese secret.
For 2
it's like
seasons.
very Wayne's World, okay?
Does it seem like we've been given a reprieve from the casual racism in this show? It's been a while, actually, since we've seen them do something this horrific. And I almost thought that they were over
I don't know. The gang episode was pretty bad.
You're right. I meant specifically towards Sam and Asian heritage.
This is 100% the most egregious offense against Sam.
Even the episodes you didn't see, this is pretty bad. Even when they kept making Godzilla jokes when she first came on. This is worse.
It's pretty bad.
Okay, so practical question here, James, if I may. What is Sam's great-great-grandmother, sorry. What is her name?
I don't know if I heard that clearly at any point.
They said her first name was Wu, and her last name is also Wu.
Woo?
Yes. I think they are saying, because it's California Dreams writers, that her name is Wu. They said my great-great-grandmother Wu, and Sam's last name is Wu. Ergo.
So this herbal remedy that she's gonna exploit, is made by a woman named Wu.
Yes. That's what we're
I'm
looking
sure
at here.
There's a layer of offense that I can't connect right now, but
we're not allowed to talk about it. Maybe this is just
no. Okay, just hear me out.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Woo is a term that gets used for, like, at least I've heard it in like hippie circles. Woo. When hippies talk about, this crystal doing this or this herbal thing doing that, that's woo. I've always known that to be woo.
Are you making this up? This is real?
No, 100%. I'm not making this up. That's that was just a thing when people would start talking about the hippie stuff, like at a music festival, some hippie telling you about how they're using crystals to open their pineal gland or something like that. That was woo. I don't know if that applies here, but correlation is not necessarily causation.
Do you think that's where the Juggalos got?
It's 100%. In fact, that's probably the real subtlety here, is that the writers loved ICP.
I mean, it was around that time when they were coming
family.
So
anyways,
her thing is her medicine is called the Wushu flu. So I think it's more just a rhyming thing, but we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the insight.
A very tasteless, culturally ignorant.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, cool. So anyways, next scene, basically they're like, all right, Sam, that's what our business should be. We should market this drink, your great grandmother's recipe. And she says, there's no way I'm going to exploit my culture or her memory or her legacy like that. So next scene, of course, is at Sharkey's. And Sly is immediately scheming on how to exploit Sam's great-grandmother's recipe to their advantage. And
this is because Tony took a drink, immediately felt better, and he's like, this definitely works. And this is also the reason. This is also the business idea for the classroom that they're going to use. If they can get this $500, they can end up making. And who says it? Rain Man Tiffany over here immediately comes up with this amount of money that they can make if they have zero overhead and they can sell this stuff $5 to $10 a pop.
The only funny joke I've ever heard Tiffany make was that because she does the math. There's that awkward moment of silence where everyone's looking at her, and she goes, "And I better not hear any more blonde jokes."
That's good. That's very
Bam!
of the times. That's very cool.
Bam, Tiffany, you did it. You stood up for yourself. Finally.
I have a question though here. Sly immediately says, he's like, we've got to take this to the lab, find out what's in this, and then we can use it. What lab do these kids have access to?
The science lab at their school.
Okay. I'm sorry. There's a gasochromatic mass spectrometer there at the high school.
It's California high school, dude. What do you mean? Of course. What California high school doesn't have one of those?
All right. Asked and answered. You're right. Let's go to the loft. Did you notice
we're yeah. Okay. Well, Sharkies, we have to explain this. So Sam comes in and hears them scheming, and she's like, "Fuck that! I'm not. You can't do that."
She's still holding down. We're not doing.
Once she hears the numbers, she like immediately does an about face.
Great, that's a great point.
Completely willing to sell out her culture. Yeah,
this is a good point because I had forgotten that Sam is kind of shallow in this, and I mean that's what her original character was supposed to be. Loves fashion, very like Lisa Turtle, where she does care about money and material things. So it's very cool that they kind of brought that back because we didn't really have a lot of personality from Sam.
She goes, "Sorry, Grandma." Oh yeah,
Grandma's pretty understanding, even
really
even in the weird flashback scene. She's like, you know what?
Yeah, well, I've thought
even Shakespeare, even Shakespeare got to get paid.
I don't think that was her great grandmother. I think that was a manifestation of her own mind. You know, that's how she was rationalizing all of it. Anyways. Tomato. So we get to the loft and we've already got an assembly line. Everyone is mortar and pestling all the ingredients to combine them together. I guess is like at this point is Sam like kind of the CEO? Is like she in charge?
Oh, I love that they all have their own titles. I do love that. They all have come up with their own titles. I love that Lorena is like CEO of packaging or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. I love that they got this together. Again, we don't know how much time has passed or when this project is due. Apparently very quickly. But I did notice here, Sly's on the couch. He's just the overlord, basically, just barking out orders.
Oh no, I guess
feet are on the.
He considers himself, and as chief executive officer, so
he's the warlord.
Himself.
Warlord of. Oh yeah, I noticed that he has his fucking shoes all over the couch. Like this fucking psychopath, he does that constantly.
That was a part of the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you wanted to know about a cameo here, did you not?
Yeah, I did, and I'm assuming it's this surfer guy.
I think it's this surfer guy. There's another surfer guy later, but I'm pretty sure it's him. I could be wrong. This is the return of Sea Kelp in this episode, played by none other than Jamie Kennedy.
Wow. The resolution is so terrible on the YouTube video that I watched.
It's either him or it's the one later that has the hiccups. It's one of those. They look the exact same. They're interchangeable because it's Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
We should mention he's there because Jake and Mark have started a music tutoring business. Jake brings over his first student over here, and of course it's very loud, it's very obnoxious, and rightfully so. The student walks out, but we almost got music. We almost did. There was a scene earlier where Jake picks up the guitar, doesn't do anything with it. This time he picks up the guitar, shows him an E chord, almost strums it. Then everything just stopped, and then Mark brings back somebody and he sings for the first time in California Dreams history on camera. Just wanted you to know that.
Wow.
I think, unless there was some part in the third.
If only we would have got actual music out of it. We were so close. So close.
What the hell?
I also want to make sure we cover how ridiculously offensive the tea box that Lorena makes.
That's upsetting.
Yeah. It's
okay. I will say, because she is the comptroller of packaging or whatever. That's a sick ass packaging. And to get that as a mock-up, that is really cool. I would actually buy that because if I was feeling really sick, I'm like, well, this one looks legit.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And what kind of FDA testing is this new medicine actually going through?
Honestly, what makes it legit is that it hasn't undergone FDA testing. You know what I'm saying? The packaging is pretty good, and surprising that she was able to get the complete order made up minutes after leaving class. the first class that she was in.
They
So,
left class, and that was like first period. Like the rest of the school is still going to other classes, but not the California Dreams.
they've got a business to build. If businesses actually escalated this quickly, that would be a chaotic hellspace that I would just love to.
What the fuck would you do
interface
if your
with.
teacher's like, here's $500, make a fucking business, and if you don't pay me back, you're going to fucking summer school? Like, this is super illicit handshake deal.
It's very strange. It is very strange, and almost certainly every kid in that classroom spent that money on drugs. But I also think there's a funny Sam joke here when she's looking at the packaging. She goes, "What is this? The Hong Kong hillbillies?" And I
didn't like that.
The joke doesn't make any sense, and that is why it's hilarious. There was a writer in that room that's like, this is gonna kill. The canned laughter is gonna go crazy.
I guess every joke kills if you just have access to like more of a laugh track that you can put in
a sound effect of people laughing. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of dead people from the 60s that were laughing that will now provide California Dreams all their reactions. I think this is a great business model. Like, if I'm being honest, like, this is actually like not a bad, for a school project, this is not a bad swing. Okay.
Yeah.
For a bunch of kids that you normally would like, what do they normally make? What would normally kids, like a fucking lemonade stand or something? It's like,
or like brownie, like a bake sale kind of deal.
Fucking idiots. The fact that they're going up against the pharmaceutical industry as young titans, like independent business, that we're gonna go up against these giants. Good for them.
Yeah, well, I think you're giving them way too much credit.
That's the whole point of this podcast. I'm giving them way too much credit.
Yeah. Wow, you really got them there. I guess, I see what you're saying. In terms of a business for like high school kids to start, it's really not bad. And honestly, it's a great business model. You get a bunch of kids, free labor, right? You have them do all the work and you sell it and make all the money while also exploiting somebody's culture and heritage.
Well, I mean, at least they addressed that in the Saved by the Bell episode where this happened, where they're like, they were just stealing all the school supplies to make this spaghetti sauce. And of course, like, it was all profit, but they definitely had a reckoning at the end where they're like, "What? Look at all these charges." So they say later that they spent $500 on this, and I'm like, bullshit. Commercials, like packaging.
Look, some of it went to drugs. Okay,
you keep saying that, but like, they are making drugs. They're making actual medicine with this.
Maybe they put drugs in the tea.
That's what makes it so good. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's habit forming. Yeah.
So
habit forming medicine.
We're going to jump to quote unquote Sam's room now, which is Matt's old room, which may or may not be in the west wing of Lorena's mansion. Okay. This is the first time we've seen this iteration of Sam's room, if I'm not mistaken. We definitely saw it in season 2 when she was there because it was Jenny's old room. There's a Tom Cruise portrait in there from Color of Money, which was Sly's favorite actor. That's on record. And I knew immediately this is when we were going to get this terrible scene.
Well, they even front loaded it. So when they're still in the loft, they're talking about making a commercial.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, look, this stuff's going to fly off the shelves after people see my commercial. But Sam is concerned that it might be exploitative. So Tony says, don't worry, we'll do nothing that will, dishonor your grandmother. And the next scene, we get Sam in the another on a long list of offenses in this episode.
Anybody just listening to the podcast, both of our faces just contorted as James brings this up. It's
pretty cringe.
It's really offensive. And you know that the writers were just like creaming their jeans because they're like, we got an actual Asian person to dress like this. We have a pass.
Exactly what they said. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
no, we can do this. We can totally do this. It's not even a problem.
The idea that Lorena is sick in bed. And who is Tiffany playing in this commercial again?
A nurse or a doctor?
She's playing a nurse.
No. Tiffany comes in and calls Lorena the doctor.
No.
Yeah.
They lost the plot on this one?
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna watch the captions here.
It
Uh,
seems I thought that
yeah. Tiffany walks in and says, "Oh, doctor, maybe it's daughter. What ails you? That's her mom."
okay. All right. But
So
either way, she's throwing her hands up. She doesn't know what
yeah.
else to do. Lorena is deathly ill. And out of nowhere,
God
Sam's
damn it.
woo woo pops in and she offers Lorena this medicine. I really don't, I'm not going to do the voice. I would never,
No.
but she
First,
just
what
her
you're
doing the basis.
forgetting.
What
This
am I
is what
forgetting?
happens first.
No,
This little fucking
stop.
goober, this guy. Yeah. In what might be the most campy display that I've ever seen on this show,
Okay.
Sly comes in the Mucinex man outfit.
The beta
It says
version.
cold germ, I guess is what that says.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the most unbelievable level of laugh track I've ever heard, which culminated in a round of applause. And I don't know if I've ever
Do you think it was
been least convinced that real people were laughing and clapping in my life.
if they were real, do you think it was a standing ovation? Like
That's
how
that's what they were implying. And when I heard that, I was like, get the fuck out of here. There isn't a chance in hell if there were people watching this. I mean, yeah, okay, it's campy. Yeah, it's funny. Maybe they're laughing.
Mhm.
But the way they made that applause after he just like fell over, like he
It
didn't
was
even
like
do
Oscar
anything.
bait at Cannes where like people have like a
God,
7-minute
dude.
standing ovation. How
Yeah,
awkward that
yeah.
must be.
Honestly, no movie deserves that. No movie fucking deserves that. But yeah, so Sly comes in this germ outfit. He's being the Mucinex man. And then Sam pops up out of nowhere.
Sam, she even the way she's walking, even the gait on her is like super racist. And then the voice she does, if they're doing it and saying, this is very dishonorable what you're doing, but they don't even do that. They
Yeah.
don't even say that later where it's like, your portrayal of me was really awful to our family heritage kind of thing. Like, if they would have said that, I would have been like, okay, we are owning it. But nope, they're like, you get an A just for trying.
Man. Yeah, like the next scene, they're watching the commercial and everyone's happy. No one sees a problem with this.
No, and it's been running all day apparently. That's what and they don't have the budget for that, but apparently they do because they only spent
Listen.
$500.
$500. Okay. First of all, this is an herbal remedy, so they're buying herbal components.
But
not
she
expensive.
says later it's a very specific
Doesn't
herbal
mean
remedy.
it's expensive. Doesn't mean it's expensive.
It's like Mongolian leaves or something.
Herbal core components are they probably didn't spend a lot on those. Okay, packaging maybe, but it was also
That
the 90s.
packaging was fucking top notch.
It was really good, but it was also the 90s, so they were probably getting those for like 2
But
cents
did
a
they even
piece.
keep the packaging?
Okay.
Did they?
What is it? What does that matter?
Well, because Sam said I don't like the packaging after she says it'd be dishonorable.
I think
we're assuming
they did
that they just went along with it.
No, well, in the commercial, she holds up the thing in the packaging.
Okay, so the pagoda. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that would have been really cheap. Plus, it was the 90s. $500 was like $500,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's right. I checked it.
And we're just talking about math. Okay, it's simple math. And they don't have any overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a place to work. They don't have to get a spot to work. Everyone's putting in at least the seed round for free. So they're not paying labor.
Giving themselves a salary because they care about this product so much.
Exactly. It's my point.
As they watch this commercial, they love it. I noticed that they like turn the TV so they could all watch it together. The TV is now in a different spot of the room. That upset me. And then Jake and Mark come in and they're like, "Thank you for not putting us in your stupid commercial. We don't have any clients." So that's what they said, right?
That is, and just take us into the next scene is Sharky's.
Well, they said when you have a good product, you don't need to advertise. So that's the only other part of this plot you really need to know. So they go into Sharky's and they both sing this song, which is again another time that J. Anthony Frankie has sung on the show and he didn't even say it. Now, if we're going to talk about his guitar miming real quick, because this is like the only bit of fucking music we have to talk about, he's changing chords on time, but they're not the right chords. And
Definitely not.
And then the little boopy doops at the end, he just fudged it, and I was like, "This is a simple song, dude. It's a basic bar format for blues. Just learn it. What the like, this would not take more than a couple minutes to learn. Why you could have done it."
No, no, he couldn't. I that's again way too much credit. No. At this point, this is season 3, right? He showed up in season 2,
Okay, but James, this is my
right?
whole point. The whole thing of, like, you don't have to advertise if you have a good product. They walk in, they play the song, and the most realistic response that you would actually get, these people just go back to eating their food at this cafeteria/school auditorium, right? Th they are poppy they are the California Dreams. They are the band at Sharky's. Why how would you not know that they don't have any clients? How would you not know that Mark and Jake are doing this and you could also learn from them? Answer me that.
No.
You're just not gonna answer.
No, it doesn't. Look, it doesn't. Why would people not know that? Because they haven't played shows.
That's
Do
true,
they
they
even
haven't played
play
shows,
music
that's a great
anymore?
answer. They have not
Is
played
this
shows in
is this
months.
a thing that people are aware that they still do because it's been that long
Everybody
since
else is
we've seen
an
them play a
NPC in
show?
this world. Everybody hinges on whatever these these 6 people do.
And they're not doing it.
Is
Maybe
it
that
possible
explains it.
that the California Dream started COVID-19?
Well, as we'll find, the correlation is not necessarily causation, but they do put on masks in this
They
episode.
do. That's true. This is the beginning of contagion. They're also vending on premises, which is, like, super illegal.
Super illegal, but
Yeah.
Tony owns Sharkey, so he can do whatever he wants
true.
there.
And Tony's looking good in this scene. He's got some guns. So even in
He's
his
always got the guns.
sickly
What do you-
state, still working out. Appreciate
And
it.
I didn't get why they're wearing the masks because they're sick, or why.
They don't want to get sick because of all the sick people that are coming to them because they're
Gotcha.
the
Yeah.
surplus of customers has exploded.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are just butt chugging this stuff like it's going out of style.
Love butt chuck.
And then, yeah, so that's it. So they're selling stuff out of Sharky's. Everyone in town is drinking them.
Mm-hmm.
And then next, we're back at the loft and they're celebrating all of their financial success.
They found that they had spent $500, but they also made $500, which doesn't make any sense because Tiff was like, "You're definitely gonna make like 80 grand or something in a month."
Well, she's blonde, so.
James, we specifically said no blonde jokes, but this
Well,
is when
she didn't do the math right. What do you want me to do, dude?
I was really worried at this scene because of how much we were upsetting the heritage of the Wu family that we were going to get a dream sequence. I was really worried.
Did you think that?
That's where I put in my notes. I was like, "Are we getting a dream sequence?" Because like after the last couple of very special episodes and the last dream sequences that we've gotten, like I can't handle it, dude. I can't. It's bad enough you're not me. I don't get any music in this. Like, we got Tony's ancestor thing. Like, we're hot off the heels of a cotton gin inside Sharky's. It's not a far fucking fetch to see that, like, you would go to a pagoda in Sharky's or something like that. We already had a whole Chinese New Year separate celebration in that fucking cafeteria.
Well, it's a multi-purpose event space cafeteria business
Like it's the 90s.
classroom. Yeah, so they're counting their money, and nobody really seems disturbed by what they've got going on. They're pretty ecstatic that they're exploiting Sam's great
They
grandmother's.
could give a fuck about that.
recipe.
That would have never come up again had not the problem happened later. So we go back to Sharky's, and this was a weird spot. They're all sitting at the table and stuff, and somebody comes up. It says they have the hiccups because they had to have changed the recipe so they can make more money. All right, like I'm sorry to jump, but I noticed in this scene is that when Jake walks up to say like, whatever, he just walks up to the table like he's done 1,000 times in this show, and people start whooping. Like it's the middle of the goddamn episode. What are we whooping at? We've already seen Jake multiple times.
Pete, no actual human is whooping. That is a sound that they added after the fact. They already crossed the lexicon on this episode, dude. They blew their load way too early. If they were gonna save the standing ovation, clap, applause sound, they should have saved it for the end. But they did it for Sly as the Mucinex man. So that was it.
They did really like that scene.
They stopped caring altogether and are just like, well, if we're gonna try and sell that people enjoyed it, let's make them think that they
Well,
really
I have a
enjoyed
theory
it.
if you'd like to hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We learn in this scene that Jake and Mark are now booked up because
None of their stellar 30-second performance. Yeah.
None of their advertising actually worked, but they went to a all-girls school, and now they have a bunch of clients. And then they said, actually, we're not getting paid for any of them for reasons A, B, and C, but now we have dates for the next 5 months, which means him and Lorena are not dating in this episode. Okay?
Wow.
Do you think that the whooping came because people could just tell he was on the market? What do you think?
I mean, that is more context than we'll ever get from the show. So, yeah, I think we have no choice but to go with it. And does that also make Mark and Jake gigolos?
Yes.
If their business shifted from teaching people to play guitar to taking desperate women on dates.
It's not the first time that we've seen the flesh trade here at California Dreams.
Yeah, it won't be the last either.
So anyway, more than one person now says that they have the hiccups because now it's incarnations.
Now, yeah, they changed some ingredients to save some money, and here is actually where we get our cameo. The guitar player is not Jamie Kennedy. This guy is Jamie Kennedy.
Okay, that's Jamie Kennedy. Okay, so that's Sea Kelp that we've seen before. This is now the second episode that we've seen him. Thank you for pointing that out, because the old guitar player is in the mob of people that says, hey, we want our money back. Do you think I should have a bell every time I say, do you think? And it's something that you've never thought about and will never think about again. Do you think that he got sick because he went to the loft?
100%.
Do you think that they actually wrote that in, or it was just, we need as many extras for this scene as possible?
You get over here right now. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. And also the fake hiccups here.
Was it as bad as the fake sneezing?
It was worse.
It's
definitely worse.
You would rather the sneeze?
Yeah, I'd rather the fake sneeze than these fake hiccups, because they were just so bad.
Okay,
it's so bad. Anyways, so the gang runs back to Sam's room.
They run back. This is like a pitchfork mob after them.
Yeah, and we can only assume that they're implying continuity here, because they won't actually confirm it. But now Sam's depressed. Now she's depressed. She's brought shame on her great grandmother's recipe, and there's like, you think there
now
might
that
be
they've
like
gotten
some
found
kind
out.
of...
That's it. It's not that it insulted her heritage. It's that, like, fuck. Now we have to, like,
figure out another way to make money.
Now we're getting sued by the FDA for, like, bypassing all the fucking back channels.
Yeah, I guess the most she really says about it is basically, Sly, we're talking about my great grandmother's honor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 17 minutes into a 21-minute episode, of which 4 minutes are credits.
Why? I didn't the crowd whoop it up when Sam's great grandmother started talking in the painting. What gives?
That is a really good point, but that's because it took months of special effects to make that happen.
No, this woman is 40 years old tops. That they put like an old person wig on. Anyway, so Sam looks at a picture of her great grandmother that we've never seen before, and the great grandmother starts talking to her about, what it means to have integrity in your small business, in your 401k that you're trying to get.
It's also weird too, because the picture of the woman before it turns into the video of the woman, it just doesn't look like the same person. And yeah. I'm wondering why. No, it is.
Greed changes people, James. Okay.
I guess. Yeah, I guess you're right.
This is a dream. This is a dream sequence, right?
Yeah, like, it very well could be.
But honestly, it's basically the same thing.
I can't tell. I don't know. I don't know if the woman in the picture is the same woman that does the video.
You're missing the point. Okay, like I don't give a shit. Like the fact is, like she could have fallen asleep, and this could have happened. The only reason they didn't do it because they didn't want to do another set. This is totally a budgetary issue.
Yeah, yeah,
There's the
yeah.
only reason because Sam was alone. She's like, I want to be alone.
Yeah,
She's on this
that's what I
bed.
was gonna say.
She's on
It
this
does
bed that
happen.
is way too fucking bouncy. I don't know if you noticed when the two of them were on it, it was bouncing like crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
she could have been on that comfy ass fucking bed, fallen asleep, and all of a sudden, what? She's in like colonial Japan or sorry, colonial China,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all of a
let's
sudden,
keep going. Yeah, keep going. Opium den. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's think of the most offensive thing that would be stereotypical, and let's make her have a dream sequence
here's the cool
there.
thing.
Why
You
not?
have a dream sequence because dreams are just like a mad lib of what happened at the day, right? Have a dream sequence. Have somebody from the gang be somebody from the village. Have the fucking teacher be there as well, and he's like an evil businessman that's coming through. And then you see the grandmother that like stands her ground, doesn't insult her heritage, doesn't sell her medicine to this evil guy that's played by the teacher. Have sea kelp in there as a local fisherman. Like, I could write this. I don't understand. James, I'm doing
I
fan
mean, I
fiction
don't
over here.
I don't either. I've stopped trying to make sense of this a long, long time ago.
James, you have to be more optimistic about this show. We have 2 more seasons to get through.
Uh, I, I don't. I have the wherewithal to get through it, but I do not have to be optimistic. Okay,
You were so
Okay.
optimistic at the beginning of the season. I loved it.
Considering, yeah, we have come a long way, but it was a steep drop off. It was a real steep drop off.
Yeah, and I don't know when we're going to get back to it, but I appreciate that you were along for the ride. We got through this pseudo dream sequence. We go back.
Yeah, right. We're back at school,
Go
back
back
in
to the classroom.
econ. Sly throws the money on the table and says, we had a really good first quarter.
Mhm.
And then Sam stands up and says, no, we didn't. We failed because we cheated our customers by giving them by trading out the high quality ingredients for low quality ingredients. And we're a failure, but they still get an A because nothing ever goes wrong here.
No, it's just this is the biggest bullshit ever. Sam, because she has integrity and says what really happened, she releases this internal memo, takes responsibility and says, I resign because I have shamed the company and we are not up to the same standards as when we first started. The 3 months ago, because it's the first quarter, whatever, the teacher's like, you know what? Some business people could learn a thing or two from you.
No,
You get an
Pete.
A. The rest of the people don't. Jake and Mark get D's because they gave away their shit for free. How the fuck does Sam, after she has embezzled and lied to her stockholders and shareholders?
Okay. So many CEOs that drive companies into the fucking ground, leave, and then get a huge exit bonus.
She did. She got the golden parachute.
This is her as the person who's in charge of this operation. Her getting an A while everyone else gets nothing actually tracks very closely to reality. And this is the real lesson the econ teacher was trying to teach them.
Interesting.
Is that this is how business works, okay? And people that mess things up can also be the people that make all the money.
But are we assuming the rest of the gang got like D's or failing grades or something? Because they were trying to be sneaky and lie and continue this trajectory and skirt any lawsuits that were probably coming.
Yeah, econ teacher doesn't like Ponzi schemes, so
I think he does. He's giving $500 to a bunch of kids and then blackmailing them if they don't get all their seed money back.
But where's the Ponzi scheme there? He's giving them money in hopes that it comes back, but wouldn't they then have to give it to someone else and then have that person pay them back?
That's definitely, it's going to be pyramid.
Is that an MLM? Am I describing an MLM?
It's really the
Similar,
econ teacher's job to tell us the difference between these things.
That is true.
He didn't tell us. So.
He didn't do a good job of that, so he gets an F.
He gets an F for me. This episode gets a huge fat D for me as well.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they had fun making it, but like
This episode for me is going to get a C for culturally insensitive.
there's so that's the end of the episode. We almost got some music, some real music with a band. As close as we were to all their instruments, we still did not see them all at their instruments, and that's upsetting. But Merry Christmas, James. This was the Christmas Eve episode, and then we are about to hit the mid hump of the 90s with the next episode. Do you want to know what it's called, and do you want to
Yep.
try to guess what it is?
Let's do it.
No. It is called The Treasure of PCH, and it came out New Year's Eve, 1994.
The treasure of PCH. So there's like some
Oh, no.
lore of buried treasure or time capsule type treasure situation going on somewhere in PCH, and the kid's mission is to find a map and find it. Yeah. Oh, let's go with that.
Hey, that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, you didn't really say who, but that doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Lorena and Jake bet on whether or not a large sum of money could destroy the friendships between the rest of the gang. To prove it, they concoct a phony treasure hunt and send their friends on a wild goose chase.
Hey.
Why do we have this episode?
Love that. This is very Trading Places.
Is it?
The Mortimer brothers making the bet for $1.
Right.
If we give Eddie Murphy a lot of money and we take away all of Dan Aykroyd's money, will they end up going back to what they were, or will they adapt to the new life?
I hate these school episodes, and I just harken back to the first season when we didn't ever see a school, and we're like, do these kids go to school? Are they homeschooled? Are they in a cult? Now I wish for nothing more in this world. I don't want to cure famine or anything. I just want to go back and see some band rehearsals from the California Dreams.
Yeah, little did we know we'd be yearning for the past where every episode was focused about the hijinks that the band was getting
These
into
are
that
hijinks.
related.
This was a fucking hijinky episode.
They don't relate to the band. When the band was in they relate to the band in that it's the members of the band, but it used to be they would get into fun things that had to do with the band.
I miss it.
And now it's just their friends. I don't even know if they make music anymore, to be honest with you.
Jake couldn't even get through an E chord, So that's what we're going to talk about next week. And so there's only 2 episodes left of season 3. So
wow.
That's exciting. Let's hope they kind of course correct for season 4. I had high hopes.
Yeah,
okay?
Bring it home strong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, anyway, we got some fun stuff planned. Thanks for listening to Surf Dudes with Attitude. We have a really big interview coming up, which we're not going to talk about yet because
everyone's going to lose their minds.
We don't want to hijinks it or anything, but we're real excited, and we got some fun stuff planned for the end of the season and some cool in-betweeny stuff. So, James, thank you for coming on once again, getting through this episode. I'm hopeful that the last 2 episodes are going to be great, and I want you to share that optimism with me. I want you to be the change we want to see in the world.
I'm almost sure they won't be, but I don't have it. That's not a bad thing to me.
I mean,
I enjoy it. These are real to-be treasures. You know what I mean?
That's a throwback to an earlier guest that was amazing. Okay, James. Well, I will see you next week for The Treasure of PCH. Until then, this is Pete from New York City here at Surf Dudes with Attitude. Woo woo.
See you later.
This has been a Waning Moon production.